And so, on his first tee box ever with me, he decides to play by the rules and just hit driver off the deck. Full. And we see him line up, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're done now. It's our turn now. You don't get to do it again. And we're like, and he just starts setting up again. And we're like, this is not good. This is not good at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Whole Story Podcast. Robby and Jonathan here, and we are teeing up, to me, one of my favorite episodes, Jonathan, because it's with an old friend, and I'll tell you more about that in a second. Do want to give a shout out to our friends at Holderness and Bourne. I feel like I wear the hoodie every day, and I'm all right with that because it's that cool. And in these cooler months, it's perfect to throw on to go to a meeting, go to an event at church, go on the golf course. So excited about what those guys are doing. Check out hbgolf.com. Another friend of the program, Western Birch. We talk about them all the time, not just because they are a friend of the program, but their golf tees are incredible. We're trying to teach Jonathan how to not come so steep into his golf ball. Right. 2025 is going to be the year that we get better at golf, and Jonathan's not going to be breaking as many tees, so these Western Birch tees will last that much longer. But check out westernbirch.com. I think you guys will appreciate designing you some custom tees. Another partner, friend of the program, Vice Golf, Vice Drinkware. If you want a little tumblers to celebrate whatever you have going on in life, whether it's a round of golf with your buddies, whether you got an event coming up, check out Vice Drinkware. And be sure to tell Phil that BestBall sent you. So, Jonathan, let's talk about our friend, Stephen Milne. Stephen Milne. This episode, we got to go and hang out with Stephen at the beautiful Quixote Golf Club in Sumter, South Carolina. It was your first time there. So before we talk about Stephen, give me your quick impressions of the course.
Yeah, so I mean, you take the left from where we were coming. They open up the gates and sort of the course and soon-to-be new practice facility. But the first thing I noticed was the fact that the large American flag was stiffened to the wind and looked like it was going to be a problem for the entire day. From a golf perspective, it definitely was for even people.
You thought you had pulled back up to land, man.
That's it. I mean, exactly. Like, you're looking for the windsock and it's been a long time since I've played golf in wind like that wasn't in Nebraska. So it did turn out to be an interesting day. Somehow I got suckered into playing from the back tees, which turned out as good as you hoped it would be. Once I lost my first two balls on the first hole, I just grabbed all the crappy ones from inside my bag and spent the rest of the day with garbage balls.
Well, that almost describes Stephen. He was searching on hole number 3 for his last golf ball, the top flight
that's right,
that he had to play with for a few holes. So that was pretty fun. But no, Stephen. So I've known Stephen for a long time. He and I went to high school together. He was a couple years behind me, but we played all the sports together. Then we were at South Carolina together. He's been a longtime friend. You met him, Jonathan, on one of our what is now called Ferguson Cup golf trips with a bunch of guys from our church, First Pres, here in Columbia. But give me your take on Stephen and the talk that we had there sitting in Quixote.
Well, before we get to the talk, I think the one thing, if you ever meet Stephen Milne, the phrase that just needs to run through your head is "no offense," which was repeated a number of times throughout the day, and he really doesn't mean anything. He's as harmless as a little kitty cat, even if it sounds biting. He might scratch at you every once in a while, but he's just a great guy to hang out with. If you aren't going to have fun, he's going to make sure you have fun. I think that's probably the best way to describe it.
That is a great way to describe it.
Yeah, so, I had a great chat with him. Heard more about his story. I hope you're as moved as I was. Like, I'm literally sitting there in the middle trying not to fall apart and cry because he just has that side of him that's real and authentic when it comes to connecting with people and sounds like someone that I didn't get to meet, but stories about his dad that had the exact same philosophy in life in terms of just treating people right and making sure they're enjoying themselves. So it was a great day.
Yeah, well, I was fortunate to know Rick Milne. He was another father figure, as all the dads were that high school friends and teammates, their parents were. But he was an incredible guy. Hearing these stories again from Stephen is pretty incredible. I won't tell you exactly what happened, but one time at Caledonia just kind of takes the cake, right, of all the stories. So
Yeah.
I know a lot of our friends from Ben Lippen might be listening to this. I know you guys will appreciate hearing Stephen talk about his dad and just about his own personal experience in golf. So without further ado, we will introduce Stephen Milne live when we recorded it at the Quixote Club in Sumter. Y'all enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today on the Whole Story Podcast, Stephen Milne.
Beers of Baptists, yeah.
Beers. We are having a beer as we finish up our round here at the beautiful Quixote Club
Yes.
in Sumter, South Carolina. Stephen, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for your radio voice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good.
I should have used this all day. If I swing the club like this voice right now,
oh, it would be so majestic.
It would be awesome.
I mean, if you could swing with the veracity and the intensity and the awkwardity of Jonathan, then this podcast would be something else.
We're trying.
I mean, Jonathan, have you even introduced Jonathan?
We're trying.
Okay.
Yeah. So Jonathan and Robby here.
But neither is your swing isn't real either. It's like fake. So.
Yeah. We're sitting inside because it is a blustery November. That's December now. December day.
Yeah.
And yeah, we appreciate
and this guy just shanked it. Like he just lost it.
We appreciate the opportunity to come here and do this. So wanted to get Stephen on. Stephen has been a long time friend of mine. We went to high school together. He was a couple years behind me, actually in my sister's class.
Yeah.
At school, but we played everything: baseball, basketball, football together.
Yeah.
Stephen was a credible athlete.
I was.
Very funny person.
Yeah.
A very, very funny person. At
Thanks.
South Carolina, he was the star. I would say one of the stars of Sunday Night Alive.
Oh, wow. That's an edge. Right.
I was in the house band, sitting in the back for no reason. Stephen was funny, and he still is. So, but
what
Stephen,
was the name of the house band? You need to say the name.
We were Scattered Hot Dog.
Scattered Hot Dog.
Josh Ridings, Andrew Ekstrom, Jeff Itters, and myself.
And Jeff Fitters and you played cards in the back.
We played cards. I played the guitar, I think, once or twice.
You did?
I played the recorder once. I would have grabbed the occasional instrument. The problem was we only had like 2 connections for instruments.
He shanked it again, by the
Did
way.
he really?
Yeah.
This is great TV.
Welcome to Quixote.
Great podcast TV. Wanted to have Stephen on. Stephen, again, longtime friend. But Stephen's got some incredible golf stories. So, Stephen, I know you sent me this. I'd heard it before.
Yeah.
Tell me about your golf experience. We played a lot of golf together. But tell me about the first time you've played golf.
Yeah, so the first time I ever played golf, I was 15 years old. And it was also the first time my brother ever played golf. And he was almost 13. And it was also the first time that my dad had ever played golf. And he was in his 40s. And we decided to do this at a resort golf course. And so we had no idea what we were doing.
Grove Park Inn.
The Grove Park Inn.
Which, Asheville, North Carolina. Beautiful. I've never played the course.
I have.
And it might as well be your first play of golf, right?
Yeah. So we didn't know what we were getting into. So first of all, it was I think it was a football weekend. So we went there. We had played Asheville School or something. Something had happened. We had played there. And I think actually Coach Gene Smith was with us, who had played before. So if I'm a bit foggy on it, but I don't
Orangeburg legend, Gene Smith.
Yeah, Orangeburg legend. Now has coached at Hammond for 9 straight change,
Also known as my dentist.
Yeah, and my dentist. And a very good family friend. So I don't want to leave that out because I think that's true. Because I don't think we would have just done this on our own because it was absurd. No, it was absurd. And so the problem was we had no idea. If anyone's ever got on the first tee, we were on the first tee earlier today. And when you're on the first tee, it doesn't matter. It's nerve-wracking. Like some tee shots are more nerve-wracking than others, but the first tee,
you're exposed.
Period. The first tee is always
like the guy that just shanked it twice.
Yeah, that guy just completely. He'll be fine in a few holes, but because it doesn't matter. But the first tee is like who's going first? Like no one, and so you multiply that times the first time you're playing, which is like 10, and then multiply that times I don't know infinity, because you've never done this before. with your dad, who like should be like the one to kind of help you. Maybe Gene's there, maybe not. I can't remember. And your brother, who's like younger than you, and you're just sitting there as carts stack up behind you in an amphitheater of actual golfers.
And you have people from the spa looking out thinking, I'm getting a massage right now, and this guy's about to take a golf swing.
Let's watch these guys play golf. I bet they're good. It's the Grove Park Inn.
Yeah.
And we were not good because we had never played once. I grew up playing baseball, so I had like a little bit of some athletic.
Very athletic. Like
yeah,
Jonathan
athletic,
mentioned.
you know. Yeah. Very athletic, just exactly like Jonathan. And so, anyway. No offense.
So how did it go?
So we come down. There's raging fires for some reason in the lobby. I don't know why. I think this isn't the fall. It wasn't that cold. And we walked through, and I remember we have one set of clubs somehow. Maybe I don't know, which one set of clubs between the three of us, and Gene might have had his clubs. It might have been one set for four. And so we are sticking out. And there is this thing called a starter. A man with a clipboard is like going to watch you. And I was like, I don't know. I don't think we should. And then that is when the cart started backing up because we're just behind. And these are actual golfers. Like I didn't know what a golfer was. These are guys smoking cigars. It's like 10 in the morning, eating biscuits, like profanity. They're just, and then it starts to get quiet. I'm like, they're all watching us. And so no one's stepping up. My dad decides to take the reins and just go. And so he's like, okay. He puts the tee in the ground. I'm like, I don't know if we should do this. Like, I think we should leave. I think it's time to stop. My brother's like, he's just off in Neverland. Who knows? And so my dad tees up the ball. He takes a practice swing. And it literally is the worst practice swing you've ever seen. Like, normally practice swings are better than your regular swing. This was his worst. This is the worst thing ever. And no one's actually, it was so bad. Everyone was like, got a bit quieter. Like all the golfers were like, oh no, is he? And so then he steps up to the ball, and then he looks at it, and he's trying to think of all these things, and then he takes a swing, and it's a complete whiff, like a full whiff of the ball.
And just to give a little story,
Give it.
Rick Milne
Yes.
was a world-renowned
Uh-huh.
eye surgeon. So precision, accuracy, hand-eye coordination, it was all necessary.
He read the books.
Did that translate to golf, though?
No, not at all. Not initially, because it doesn't.
See, and I thought you were going to say he took a swing and just this pure shot right into the fairway.
It's how you would expect the story to go.
But that's not how it went.
No, because this is golf, and this is the first time, so it doesn't quite matter. But it easily could have. And so he takes the biggest swing he's ever swung in his life, as like after the practice swing, which is the worst swing anyone had ever seen, and then it just whiffs. And so he's like, I can't do this again. So then he gets a bit even more intense about it. The starter's a bit concerned. There's like, why do they only have one set of clubs? And like, it's like, who's this Gene guy? Like, what is that? That mustache is incredible. And then he my dad takes the swing back, and then he makes full contact. I'm talking solid contact directly, like past the starter's head. Starter falls back, and I'm like, oh no. It nails a tree. It echoes throughout the plains and like the fields and
Down in like a valley. So
it echoes, and I'm like, oh no, like, okay, all right. But then the ball comes rolling back onto the fairway, onto the tee box. And no one knows what to do. Like all the golfers like, oh, it was like that thing. It was like And then the ball's sitting there on the tee box. And my dad also had read all the books. So he knows the rules of golf. Like he was a very like honest and moral man. He's not going to like change. He's not going to like re-tee. There's no breakfast ball. He doesn't understand what that means. He's not going to do that. And so later on in life, when we played a lot of golf, he would have just re-teed or whatever, been fine. But this was like, no, this is serious. We're going to do what we're supposed to do. And so on his first tee box ever with me, he decides to play by the rules and just hit driver off the deck. Full. And we see him line up, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're done now. It's our turn now. You don't get to do it again. And we're like, and he's just starts setting up again, and we're like, this is not good. This is not good at all. And so he sits up, he's kind of squats down, thinking about some sort of Golf Digest thing he had read about how you hit the driver off the deck.
Right.
And instead of just kind of the sweeping motion that we kind of all know, he just tomahawks this thing, hits it so hard, and then we're like, the ball's in the ground. Like somehow the ball is lodged beneath the earth. And my dad doesn't know what to do. And so we're like the amphitheater of the golf carts are like, they're quiet. They have no idea what to say. The starter's still on the ground. He doesn't know. He's like scared. Me and my brother want to literally die. We're like, I'll die. This is fine. We don't need to do this anymore. Like, we need to finish this. Please make it stop. So my dad tries to bend down and get the ball out of the ground. He can't get it out. There's no way to get the ball out. It's too much. And so he stands up and he smiles. He turns around and looks at us. And he just walks over, hands me the driver.
One set of clubs.
Yeah, one set of clubs. We have one set,
More than one ball.
Yes, I have a ball.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know.
Kind of like today.
It all starts to get strange. Yeah. Find this dude.
Kind of like today. You found that old top flight.
Yeah, I did. I found the top flight in the bottom of my bag. I was like, I never lose balls out here. I lost a lot of balls today. And so I get up there, just nail it into the bushes, whatever. Who cares? My brother gets up there. He has like a pretty nice swing. He sets back and just like tops it down the cart path next to like a water cooler, a few holes adjacent by. And then we literally just get in our carts. I think Gene didn't even hit, maybe. I don't know. Coach Smith, I don't know. I can't remember
if he was there.
If he was there, I don't
Maybe he
remember
didn't
what he
hit.
did. But I do remember that we did not play the hole. We drove past the hole and went to the second tee box, which was, okay, we're good. Now no one's behind us. And then as we're about to tee off in the second tee box, these guys behind us are already on the green. And I was like, this is awful. Like, we're going to have to. And if you ever play Grove Park Inn, it's like, it's back and forth. Like, so the whole rest of the day, we're just worried about killing people, like just losing,
You kept playing.
We kept playing. We played the whole day. I don't remember what happened, but like, it was the beginning of playing golf together. And
That's an incredible golf story. So
yeah.
Your dad was one of the most kind and encouraging people. Again, you were a couple years behind me in school.
Yeah.
I always appreciated baseball, football games, especially baseball.
Yeah.
His encouragement.
Yeah.
But you and I have played a lot of golf together.
Yeah.
We would go out to Wood Creek Farms in Columbia.
Would.
And I know your dad kind of had this philosophy, but he told you, Stephen, pay for your friends.
Yeah.
So I want to thank your dad for allowing me to play a lot of golf with you that he was so kind to pay for.
Yeah.
But he was such a kind man.
Yeah.
A lot of great memories of your dad.
Yeah. So so that was the beginning. And so that was obviously like a rough start. Like, it was about as rough as you can get. Like, it's very rare that.
That's the start for everybody in golf. And it's still kind of what Jonathan does.
Yeah.
Let's not start, middle, finish.
That was the start
Let's
and
golf.
today for Jonathan. But
on 18 today, Jonathan's like, I don't even know how that divot happened.
yeah.
I haven't figured out. You're supposed to be able to look at your divot, and someone's supposed to be able to tell you, like some sort of soothsayer.
Yeah.
It's supposed to tell you what you're doing with your club. Mine looks like someone took a steak knife to just like sliced it. I have no idea.
You have odd divots, but
yeah,
but sometimes things go well for you, which is it's a very odd thing.
it's more surprising when it goes.
He's a lefty though.
Lefties are strange. I don't think like the universe quite understands lefties. Like it looks backwards. Everything looks backwards with the lefty. They kind of get it. They understand too, but it looks smoother. It's so strange. It's like a backwards world. Anyways, I agree with you about my dad. I can corroborate that story. That's very true.
Okay.
And I benefited from that greatly, meaning golf became a big part of our lives together. Men don't talk for 4 hours, ever. And if they do, maybe, even if you're playing basketball or tennis or doing something like that, we don't like go for walks. We don't do that.
Right.
And so, but if you think about golf, it's a ride or it's a walk together in nature.
Yeah.
And whether our wives or like they get like, what are y'all doing? We're together talking about things.
Yeah.
And like we don't do that. You understand that we need something, and so that's actually I think what brings us back to golf is that we're in nature and we're with brethren that we can talk to. And that was something that was important to my dad. And so therefore, yeah, he's going to say, son, yeah, here's the number, 3010, by the way, was the number at Wood Creek. And you write it down, and it was like we could go. And then it was confusing to my friends, to you probably. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, no, he said we could do this. And you're like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. And it sounds a bit bratty or spoiled, but it wasn't in that spirit.
Yeah.
It was more like, no, this is intentional. This is, if you have a chance to do this, you need to go do this. And then also I would play golf with my dad all the time. And then, and he died 11 years ago. I think it's important to say.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but from when I was 15 until he died, how well I got to know my dad was probably because of golf, weirdly enough. And this was a dad who talked to me at the dinner table. This is a dad who like always was involved in my life. It wasn't like a dad who was kind of like whatever, and then golf happened. It was like, but it was even more intentional. Yeah. And he got the bug like we all did.
Yeah.
We're not good at golf. We like love doing it. I think what we love is getting out together and doing something.
It's always the people.
Yeah.
So did you go back and at least try to right the wrongs at the Grove Park Inn?
I don't think I thought about that actually. I don't think I've played since then the Grove Park Inn. But that might be interesting. That would be an interesting tale. Because in my mind, I can see the first tee almost vividly. It's like a weird mirage of like pain and death. But like I can see it. And I can see how it looks. But like other than a few, I don't remember any of the holes. Because I wasn't playing golf then. Now if I'm going to play a course, I can remember the holes because I understand what's going on. But I don't know. Maybe I should do that. That'd be a good one. Yeah.
So we talk all the time, Jonathan and I talk about golf as people, right?
Yeah.
We had a great time today. It was very windy.
Yeah.
I don't know what we shot, but we had a great time.
Yeah.
It was a great day of golf in December in South Carolina here at the Quixote Club.
Yeah.
You talking about fellowship with your dad? It's 11 years.
Yeah.
Has it been 11 years? Wow.
Yeah.
So my dad passed away almost 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
So we kind of share that bond. They were friends. They went to the same church. They cheered us on in baseball together. Mm-hmm. But golf with people, golf with your dad is a special thing. Mm-hmm. So I guess the way you and Jonathan met was part of this thing. We used to call it the New Covenant Invitational from our church. And we are relaunching that this year. We're calling it the Ferguson Cup in honor of our former pastor, Sinclair Ferguson. But it's a time where we gather guys from our church and kind of church-adjacent folks that we get together to play golf.
Church-adjacent?
I'd like to point out that I'm not church-adjacent. I'm adjacent to your church.
You're adjacent to our church. You go to a church.
Church-adjacent.
You go to a church, not our church. But yes. Thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah.
Good clarification.
It's a new.
But
it's
kind of the friends of friends, a group of people that have gotten together over the years. But we're getting back together this coming January.
We are.
So from when this thing will drop, it's about a month out.
Yeah.
And that's how you guys met and became friends.
Yeah.
And 11 years ago, you said your dad passed away.
Yeah.
There's an incredible story from Caledonia.
Yeah.
Golf and Fish Club.
Yeah.
One of our favorites, one of the sponsors, friends of the program of Best Ball and the Whole Story podcast.
Yeah.
Tell us a story 11 years ago now of you at Caledonia Golf and Fish Club on hole number 11.
Number 11.
All right.
Yeah. So one of the things, so my dad loved he loved life and he loved people and, he loved exciting things. And so for my dad on a golf course, if you can think about what's the most exciting thing, it's the tee box of a par 3. Because at every it's a chance for anybody, no matter their skill level. You got pretty close to it.
It's a place of expectation.
It's a place where you potentially could have a memory. And actually, and we know this about.
Do you get a new ball out every time, or like something that in my mind I'm like, what do I want displayed in the trophy case?
Today I was playing a rock flight and I was a bit worried. I was like, if I do hit the sand as a top flight, like, is it okay? Like, can I like, I did.
Are they still around?
Top flight, I don't know where this top flight came from. It was in the bottom of my bag. It was very dark.
But seriously, is Top Flight as a company, are they still around?
I don't know. Y'all are the best ball. I don't know.
I think I've seen your clubs.
You got Acuity. Did Acuity take over Top Flight?
Acuity might have taken over Top Flight.
Acuity.
No idea.
They might be doing great. Who knows? They might be
sure.
like really getting like that. I don't know. It seems like most of the balls you have the driving range are Top Flight balls. So maybe they decided, where do people mostly hit balls?
Okay.
Oh, driving ranges. So maybe that's a good business model. I don't know. But anyways, maybe Top Flight can reach out.
So
and find out.
back to Caledonia.
So back to Caledonia. So I don't remember what ball I have the ball, but I don't know which one I was playing to answer your question. But to not anyways. So Caledonia, hole number 11. So my dad had died about 10 days before. And it was cancer, and it was something that was expected, and it was something that it wasn't like a complete surprise. But it was enough of a surprise. We were living in Florida. We were driving back to see him in the hospital because he wasn't doing good. And so I was coming to see him. He had died on the one I was on the ride back, so I didn't get to see him before he died. I got to see him in Christmas before, and he was in the hospital. He'd been in the hospital for a while, and we had a little moment. He was kind of in and out of not consciousness, but just being clear about what was going on. And we had a moment where we were playing a game with this basketball, and so we got to play a game together the last time we were together. So I don't know if I've mentioned that before, but we did. We in this hospital room, we got to play this game. We made a basketball game. We created one, and so that was the last time I got to be with him when he was alive. But when he came back, he had died on the way back, and so we also got pulled over on the way back. And by the way, if you get pulled over and your dad has died, then you don't get to take it. Right. Just by the way, like you just show the text. So these are people that are saying like we're praying for you, and like the officer's like just be safe for next time. Just, yeah. She was fine. She was, we were speeding. My wife was driving, by the way. I was not driving. Anyways.
Shout out Meg Milne.
Yeah. We were getting home, and so we had known, and so we got back, and then we were doing the funeral stuff, and then, it just, I was planning to go on the golf trip because it was like, it's the best weekend of the year. It's like, it's 40 dudes. None of us are that good at golf. It's like a legit, it's just,
golf is an excuse to get together.
Yeah, we're just getting together, and then we get together at night. We talk. It's just great. And so, I was really looking forward to that, And so I was going to drive back from Tallahassee to the eastern South Carolina, and we came back, and then we had the funeral, and the golf trip was looming. It was like the next weekend, and so I decided, and in my business partners now and the folks that I was working for at the time were like, hey, you just need to stay and go on the golf trip. And so I did, and I didn't have my clubs though.
And once again, you show up without clubs.
I had no clubs.
Kind of like, did you use Gene Smith's clubs? He was not on the trip.
No, Gene's was on the clubs, but I had like my mom let me use my dad's golf shoes and his like jacket and his clubs. So my dad's clubs and his shoes. And so I was
golf
playing
glove.
Yeah. I was
golf balls.
Yeah, the golf ball, everything.
Everything was your dad's.
And it was cold that trip. And the final day we played on Sunday that week. We played all Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We had like a nice gathering that morning. We had a good Bible study that morning, and then we went out and played. And our team was kind of in the running, but not really. And so we had played well. I was putting well. Everything was going fine. We're at Caledonia. It was an absolutely beautiful day. It turned into one of those kind of late January, actually nice days. And with my dad's clubs on hole number 11, it was like 168 to the pin. It was kind of over a hill, so you couldn't quite see it. I hit like a weird 6-wood or something. I can't quite remember what it was. It was a strange, and it kind of hit the top of the hill, and it didn't continue. Like it should have continued rolling. So I was like, well, maybe we just can't see it or whatever.
If I remember, I was in the group ahead of you.
You were?
Because I heard the yelling. I was on the tee box of 12, and I believe Matt Ham was with you, maybe?
Jonathan Coonsey was with me.
Coonsey was with you.
By the way.
He's another good guy.
Yeah. And so, obviously, not to bury the lead too much, but every time that my dad would come to a par 3 while he was alive, every time he would say, "This is the one. This is it. This is the one." I'm like, "Dad, this is like a random day, like a Thursday at Mid Carolina. We're at Wildwood on like a random like Monday or Tuesday because we couldn't play Wildwood on Wood Creek Wildwood Day. So he would do like 30 surgeries, and I would be like, I would wake up, and then we'd play at 2:00, like on a Wildwood. And so every time, literally without fail, every par 3, my dad would say, "This is the time. We're going to hit a hole in one." And my dad never saw a hole in one. He never hit one. He never saw one. And you know where this is going. And so with my dad's clubs, with his glove, with his jacket, with his shoes, I hit this random 6-wood, whatever it was, on this par 3 on the 11th hole with Coonsy in the group, of all people. And if you know him, he's excited just to meet like a squirrel.
Coonsy's the best friend you
the
could
most
ever have.
genuine,
Yes.
excited person just in regular life.
Right.
Loves people, loves life.
Just, hey,
the best guy.
how are you? Like, it's just, he's
also church adjacent.
he's interesting.
No, he is church at church. We
He'd
love
be
you,
happy
Kenji.
if he was church adjacent. He would love it. He would love it, and he'd love you, and he'd love the whole thing. And so he's in my group. Jeff Carroll's in my group, and I'm sure someone I can't. I don't want to name names, but there's only another person. You were ahead in the group, anyways. So, but my dad never saw a hole in one, and I wasn't. You don't think about these things, but I hit the ball really hard, par 3, probably the hardest par 3 in Caledonia. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, most of them are short.
Beautiful hole.
It's incredible. And water's down the left. It's over a bunker on the right, like a little mound, and the pin was just past the bunker. It was an impossible shot. And so I hit the ball fairly good. It was fine. And we didn't see it continue. And then we got up to the green, and there was no ball on the green. And so Coonsy runs up to the hole first, and then he just starts doing the airplane. Just when you see the airplane on a green,
If Kenji ever pulls out the airplane, good things happen.
if you see this, you're like, if everyone's doing this, that's a hole in one. Like there's no, and it was in the hole. The ball went in the hole, and so it didn't go. And it didn't go in the hole because I was good at golf.
Yeah.
It didn't go in the hole because they had to get shot. The best golfers in the world will play golf today, and they're not going to hit a hole in one. You can call it chance, you can call it whatever you like, but at that moment, it was a moment just after where my dad said it's okay. Or it was just the Holy Spirit. It was God saying, "It's okay. I got you. This is rough." But do you remember how your dad never saw a hole in one? And now it was the only thing he talked about every time he played? Remember that time he almost killed the starter the first time he played? And life is like that. And so it was this wild, full circle, just intense moment where like my playing partners kind of gave me a minute to kind of almost walk off into the wilderness. And I was like, and the sun was shining. I was like, I got you. It's okay. It's sad. But just so you know, it's okay. And that was, and I hesitate to tell my hole-in-one story to people when they have their hole-in-one stories because I don't want to, because it's a pretty good one. And so, anyways, for that, especially for the folks that knew my dad, they're, in the excitement, because you knew my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's there with us, we're not talking excitement, let's go party. It's like, it's just excitement for excitement. It's just actual, legitimate.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
And that was the feeling.
Joy for the moment.
Just joy. Yeah, just full joy. We're alive. We're living. This is amazing. This is what we get to do. It's not like, let's go, it's just, this is great. And we get little pieces of that in golf. This is just great. This is just fun.
Yeah.
And so that is my golf story. It's about as good of a golf story as I have.
That's perfect. Well, We normally ask, tell us your most memorable golf shot.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
I'm not going to ask anymore because you better not have one better than that.
No, and I never will.
Yeah. So now we'll jump
Maybe
in.
if I win the Masters.
Yeah.
Right.
If you get to the
from
Masters.
the senior tour, you know, like we're all going to play in the senior tour. We're all going to make them. We're all going to win, right?
Yeah.
That's, like, yeah. We're going to figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out by then.
Yeah. No,
So-
Start playing right hand.
yeah. That's right.
This is exactly what I was hoping. You got incredible stories, but those two stories that I know,
Yeah.
exactly what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the perfect, exactly what we're talking about whenever we talk about the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
We want golf stories about things that matter to you. And I think everybody that listens to our podcast can probably connect to that, can probably feel like maybe they didn't play with their dad, maybe it's just a friend group, maybe whatever. But just the connections we have with people through golf, that's why it's special. Again, great course. I don't know what we shot. We had a great time together.
Yeah.
It's all about that. So anyway.
Well, and I totally agree with that. And thank you, by the way. And also, I think, and you would agree with this, I would assume. But whenever you do something well, whenever you do something good, you kind of want to say, you want your dad to know about it. Like you want him to be proud of you.
Yeah.
And so there's something about that. Or you want like someone, but especially your dad, or your mom, because you want like, there's just something about a boy and his daddy that you just kind of want to say, hey, like, in times after my dad had died, I'm sure you had these moments. Something cool happens. Like I would always call my dad after golf. Like I did something well, I'd call him and say, you go to call him. Hey, but you can't call him. You can't tell him, but you want to. That's the person you want to tell. And so to do that, with the thing that he loved the most about golf, like the most exciting thing with his clubs, with his shoes, it was a neat way for him to, for God, for the Holy Spirit, for my dad to say, hey, I got you. You're okay. You're okay. And it wasn't because I was a good golfer. It wasn't because I had a good golf shot. It was something else.
Yeah.
And that's what's cool about golf.
That is what's cool about golf. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, man. Thank you for asking me.
That's a lot of fun. Absolutely. To get a little lighthearted after
Let's
some
go light.
serious, fun stuff.
I didn't mean to get that deep. Sorry.
Well,
This
no.
guy's still shanking balls?
The guy's still shanking balls there.
Okay.
We do the same. Kelly is going to come ask for another beer.
Yeah, that's
we're
right.
good. We're good.
We're good. She's great. She's great, by the way.
She is great. Quixote Club is great. We do this thing called a quick nine. We're going to do rapid fire questions. We'll take Quixote Club out of the running.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite golf course you've ever played?
Golly. Favorite golf course I've ever played? It's probably
Grove Park Inn.
Yeah, Grove Park Inn. Let's go with it. Yeah. I don't know. Ever played is probably rapid fire's got to be. It's probably Wood Creek. I love Wood Creek.
Shout out to Wood Creek.
It's because it's every hole is great except for 11. And everyone that's played Wood Creek knows this.
Yeah.
Like every hole is good. And that's the whole course that I grew up playing with my dad the most. So Wood Creek's probably my favorite. Other than off the top of my head, other than Quixote, for sure. I just think that's the best one. How about that?
All right. Because we all know it's Augusta, but what's your realistic bucket list, top of the bucket list golf course?
I don't care, honestly. I would say you give me just anybody on a golf course. I care about the people that I play with. And by the way, it's not that I have to play with the right people.
Yeah.
I just actually get to play with people. And so that's an odd answer. I'm an odd guy. So I don't actually care.
The next one.
Yeah, go ahead.
The next course you play is your bucket list course.
That's it. Like I don't because we get to play golf. Like, pretty soon we'll be dead. And so I don't know. I just think the next course we get to play is amazing. It's incredible. I love it. No matter what. It was a Muni, doesn't matter. I love it.
I want to play Charleston Muni. We need to try that again.
Whatever Munis we'll do whatever.
Let's go.
You play golf, we're going to play golf.
Wilmington Muni here is pretty good too. You've probably played that.
I've seen the woman. It's next to the Wookiee hole. There's a thing called anyways, there's a truck there. Yeah, it's weird. I've driven, there's a road between it.
We'll call the Ham Brothers. We'll go play
Yeah, I'm going to play the I love to play the Muni. I love Munis. They're amazing.
Let's do it. All right.
Yeah.
So the next course with whoever you play, who's in your dream foursome? Anybody, all time.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is unfair, but I would say, golly, they have to be like golf people.
Your dad, your brother, Gene Smith?
No. Let's keep it easy. Yeah, I would say I would love to play the Grove Park Inn again with my dad, my brother, and Gene Smith. Or, yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right. We didn't have it today, but are you music or no music on the course? And if you are music, what are you playing?
Oh, golly. I love music. I like listening to music. And when I listen to music, I focus on music. And so if I were to have music on the course, it's got to be something that just you can get lost in. And so something like The War on Drugs, I don't know, Carmen. I'm just kidding. I mean, I'd be like, do you know Carmen?
Would be awesome. As a
Church
adjacent?
Yeah. Hey, church adjacent guy. Carmen. It's huge.
Carmen.
Yeah. I'm fine either way, but I would, but I like something you can get lost in. You don't have to listen to, because if you're listening to it, it distracts you.
Yeah.
I know you are you're a podcast guy. You're a news guy.
Yeah.
Besides the Whole Story podcast, which is obviously your favorite.
Yep.
What's your favorite podcast to listen to?
Golly, it's probably Andrew Clavin's podcast. So it happens once. It's once a week. He has an interview on Wednesdays. He's just a brilliant writer, and I don't have to listen like every day. Like it's and I think he seems to really care about it. It's always something I'm like, what is he going to say? So I love that one. That's an incredible one. Andrew Clavin. It's incredible.
All right. What is your favorite snack on the golf course?
Oh, there's these 10th tee like little energy bar things. 10th tee, not first tee. There's like the same company. 10th tee. They've got them here. It's like none of it's real. It's an ingredient list this long, but it's just incredible. It's absolutely amazing.
Better than that beef jerky you had today?
Yes, it is. The beef jerky was good. The 10th tee, you didn't get. You have. Yes, it is. And I'll get you one after this is over. It's incredible. Right. It's amazing.
Quixote Club has an incredible logo, the windmill.
Yes.
What is your favorite logo in golf?
Oh, it's Augusta National, period. Because it's the United States with the flag planted in Augusta. Right. Like, I don't...
Anybody that sees it knows exactly where they're at.
A previous question, you outlawed Augusta National.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, my dad did get a chance to play. And then stay in Butler Cabins and play again.
Wow. Because
he gave a bunch of money away to FCA, and so somehow the FCA said, "Hey, do you plan to give this amount of money away?" My dad was a very generous person, and so they said, "Yeah, I'm planning to give that away." And they said, "Okay, well, there's a member who, if you give that amount, they want you to play and then stay in Butler Cabins, then play the next day. Do you want to do that?" And he was like, "Yes." And he's like, "But my dad said this is cool thing. My dad." He said, "But can I give the second round away to a friend?" Mm. And here's the even cooler thing. They said, "Sure, whatever. They don't care." The friend that he wanted to give it away to said, "No, you need to play. Yeah, I'm not doing that. That's your thing." And the friend, by the way, got to play later on, later down the road. That's just a cool thing.
I'm going to make that offer to you as long as you promise to.
Give it back. Refuse it.
Right.
Yeah. Doesn't he take it? He's like, "By the way, the second round, can I give it to someone else?"
Yeah.
And then the person you want to give it to was like, "No." That's very neat. Can you imagine that?
That's your dad.
Can you imagine that even happening ever?
Yeah.
To anybody?
No.
On both sides. That's really cool. Yeah.
All right. So you saw me play a round of golf.
I did.
If you could come up with a rule to change to make golf easier for people like me, what rule would you change?
I would say that you would make the hole this size of the table.
That big?
Yeah. So therefore, If you're putting and you hit the hole, then you're good, and you get a par, you get a bogey, or you get a birdie, whatever it is.
Okay.
And therefore, like, you just have to get it in this hole. So you make the because that's where you score. Because if you can just get it in this circle, it actually it creates the game is a lot more competitive. Because if I have to get it in this circle and you can get it in this, you're going to 2-putt period.
But you're actually cutting a hole in the ground.
No. You can just bring a thing down and lay it over the hole when you putt. And if you hit this anyway, you made it. Now I have to make the putt. Now you can get rid of handicaps. And now you're going to 1-putt every hole almost.
That's true.
And so that's fun. That's what I would do for you.
Mm-hmm. Final question.
Mm-hmm.
Quick done. Finish this sentence. I love golf because
my dad loved golf. And I don't know. That's it. I think that's the reason why. Because I love it. I don't know why I love it. I think I love it because my dad loved it. And therefore, I love my dad. So I think that's it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Steve Milne.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a lot of fun.
It has
Thanks
been.
for a great day.
Yep.
Yeah.
A little windy. A lot of fun.
Yeah. It's good.
I'm glad Jonathan got to experience Quixote Club for the first time.
Yeah.
That's right.
And the last time.
The last time. You're never coming back.
That was such a terrible.
You're never coming back.
Never do it again.
Yeah.
Well,
Anytime you want.
there's been a lot of fun. This is exactly what I was hoping for when I wanted to have you on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen been a longtime friend. We played a lot of golf together, and looking forward to a lot more.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the Ferguson Cup coming up in a month.
Coming up.
We got a lot of friends coming. It's gonna be
That's
a
right.
lot of fun.
That's right.
So for Stephen and Jonathan, this is Robby. Been listening to another episode of the Whole Story Podcast.